I'm going to let you in on a little trade secret in this video by giving you a glimpse behind the scenes here at eFIXX. When a new product comes into review, we usually have a meeting to discuss who's going to create the content surrounding it, and after 5 years of doing this, there's certain items that are a little more challenging to get excited about than others. For example, you can always tell who's out of favour in the business at the moment by who's doing the recessed downlight videos. So it was with not a little dismay that I took receipt of the Golf Express fitting from Robus Lighting. After all, what is there to say about a bulkhead light? Well, quite a bit it turns out, because the more minutely you examine this fitting, the more and more features become apparent. These features make this one of the quickest fittings on the market to install, and also makes electricians' lives easier. The first thing that strikes you on removing this from the box is that it's already in its component parts, with the decorative ring and the diffusing cover removed, ready for install. This saves loads of time because you don't have to undo lots and lots of screws holding the lid in place before you even start the install. Then you'll want to think about mounting the fitting. The Golf Express gives you a load of options for this. We can surface mount it, and this is easily achieved using the fixing points top and bottom. There's even a guide on the back giving you the distances between the fixings moulded onto the surface of the fitting. Then you can bring your wiring system into one of 4 points around the outside, and each of those points has a guide point to drill the hole for the tube, as well as a flattened area to ensure a good connection between the adapter, coupler or stuffing gland and the fitting. You've also got the option of rear entry, and for this method the hole is pre-drilled with a closed grommet ready for use if you go down that road. It's also got mouldings for fitting to a BESA system. All you've got to do is to drill out the required holes depending on the orientation of your back box. In this case we're mounting it on a conduit end box, so these spacings are perfect for that. Now, just a heads up, there is a right way to mount this fitting as indicated by the arrow in the back here. Mounting it in this direction allows you to take full advantage of a couple of other features of this fitting. The first of these is the hinged plate containing the light sources. Mounting in the correct orientation means that this plate will swing out to the right and stay there, giving you access to the fixings and the terminals. If you mount it with the hinge at the top, it's going to keep dropping down on you, so best to keep it the right way up. There's another advantage to this that we'll get to in a minute, but let's take a look at the next job, which is connecting up the conductors. Under this little cover that's easily removed, there's a row of push-fit terminals, each one with 2 connections, which is perfect for running from one light to the next. Now, in this version, which has a built-in microwave sensor for occupancy detection, there's 4 terminals, one for your neutral, protective conductor and incoming line, as you'd expect, but there's an additional line connection as well. This enables you to turn on additional fittings that will be triggered by the sensor in this fitting if you connect an additional line conductor from here to the rest of the fittings. This could be really helpful in a corridor or a room with multiple fittings in it. This fitting comes in a few variations, including standalone with no sensor, emergency, this version with the microwave sensor, and a combined emergency and microwave sensor. It also has some additional decorative options, but we'll come to those in a minute. Zooming in on that microwave sensor for a moment, you'll notice that it's got these tiny little dip switches at the end here, numbered 1 to 9. These can be used to change various settings on the sensor. For example, by moving switches 1 to 3 into either on or off positions, you can change the detection area of the sensor, so you can control how far out the detection field of the sensor goes. This can be varied from 100% through 75, 50, 25, right down to 10%, giving you great control over that triggering zone. Dip switches 4, 5 and 6 give you control over how long the fitting will remain illuminated when the sensor is triggered, from 5 seconds, which is really best used for figuring out the detection area setting, through 30 or 90 seconds, then up to 3, 20 or 30 minutes of on time. And finally, dip switches 7 through 9 enable the daylight sensor function. So if there's a certain amount of light in the space already, then the fitting won't come on until it drops below that level. The term for that to impress your customers with is daylight harvesting. The power of words for marketing there. Light level sensor is boring. Daylight harvesting sounds like the world of tomorrow. The sheer flexibility and adaptability of this sensor means that it can be used in a variety of settings to trigger from the right areas for the right amount of time when the light level is correct. So, having got the microwave sensor set up the way we want it, we can move on to the next part of the story, which is the LED control unit here. You'll notice that there's a couple of sliding switches here that allow you to control the light output and the colour temperature. So you can select between 3 power levels of 10 watts, giving 1090 lumens of output, 15 watts for 1580 lumens, and 20 watts for 1970 lumens, and colour temperatures of a neutral 3000 Kelvin, a cool 4000 Kelvin, or a daylight 6000 Kelvin. These can be selected and set at any time, although you shouldn't adjust the switches when the power is on. The sticker inside the fitting that shows this warning gets a double exclamation mark, so you know they mean it. Having this adjustable setting makes ordering and installing a breeze because you don't have to order a variety of fittings with different outputs and colour temperatures for different locations, just one fitting and then tweak the settings accordingly. Simple. Once connected and the settings sorted, it's just a matter of popping the terminal cover back into place and swinging the LED tray to its operational position. Just before we put the lid on, it's worth taking a closer look at the individual LEDs because they don't just sit exposed on the tray, but rather they've got these clear lenses over each one. And if you look really closely, you can see they've got a little divot on the front. These are referred to as batwing lenses because of the way they spread the light out from the LED, and they act to reduce the intensity of each individual LED, giving a softer, more diffused light. Some manufacturers leave the LED exposed on the board without a lens, but this can lead to spotting on the diffuser, which is very unpleasant visually. To counteract this, they then make the plastic diffuser on the fitting thicker and more opaque. This reduces spotting, but also reduces the amount of light that makes it out of the fitting, thus reducing the overall efficacy of the bulkhead. So Robus choosing to use these individual lenses is a nice touch that speaks of a good quality product. Even the lid installation makes electricians' lives easier. It's just a matter of lining up the lips on the lid and the base and giving it a slight twist clockwise, and it's on. Of course, easy on can mean easy off, which could give rise to concerns of safety, vandalism and tampering. So if you look on the rim of the fitting, you'll see these little arrows marked with one line and two lines respectively. And on the cover, there's a hole for a screw. If you line this hole up with the arrow marked 1 and then twist clockwise so the hole lines up with arrow 2, then the hole will fall over a mount on the base that can receive a screw, which is provided in this little pack here. And the lid is then securely fastened in place. The last stage of installation is to pop the trim on, which just snaps into place and you're good to go. But there remains flexibility in this stage as well, as there are a number of different options and colours available, including an eyelid trim in white, black and grey, a grille trim in the same colours, and a black or chrome plain trim like this white one we've got. I think that this is possibly the easiest to install bulkhead light I've ever worked with, and I'd approach the installation of a whole building's worth of these with great joy, knowing it would be a walk in the park. If you're interested in lighting, check out our free online training package on lighting design by clicking the link, or for more information on another great fitting from Robus, check out this video right here. All that remains in this video is to say thank you very much for watching.